What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the other side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Tynes.
What's up? What's up?
What's going on? I think the intro got better each episode. Maybe I should practice before we start, so that way it's always good. Because that Monday episode, that was rough. Thank you for everybody for tuning in. Thank you, Shannon, for a great week. If you have not already, please tune in to Monday's episode, which we discussed the Hive ransomware infrastructure being seized. So ransomware gang being owned by 13 countries for their ransomware as a service efforts. And then we have on Tuesday, dozens of cybersecurity companies are laying off people. So we talk about how that's kind of counter to where we should be at with our lives right now. And then Wednesday's episode, we have a discussion where we discuss, right? Better vocabulary in the future, people. The U.S. Air Force selecting Howard University, and how that Howard University is a consortium of sorts with 13 other universities, and how they will be granted $12 million a year for the next 5 years to do their research and build their faculty and take care of their students when it comes to autonomy and other systems that the Air Force is very interested in doing R&D and optimizing in the future. So definitely a great to hear type story, and how potentially the makeup of the current Air Force administration and the Department of Defense kind of help that conversation take place to get these schools involved. And where they may not have been in the past, right? So diversity and inclusion definitely adds to the conversation and kind of helps these type of efforts take place. So definitely tune in for that one. And now this is the everything else episode. So we call this the weekly rundown. We talk about games, books, movies, all that good stuff. So with all that being said, how was your week, Shannon?
No complaints, man. Nothing to complain about. So you already alluded to it in the previous episode. I'm just gonna put it out there. Last of Us, I'm not feeling it.
How is that possible? You are the last of us, Shannon. You were the last to be converted.
Maybe.
So counterculture. It's such a hot take. I don't understand. It's just good.
It is getting rave reviews. It really
is. So good.
I couldn't get through the first episode, but again, but here's the thing. So like I told you, man, like I'm not a post-apocalyptic or like end of the world type genre guy. Like that's zombies, not into zombies either, but I gave it a shot. So like the first episode was like an hour and a half, hour 25 or something like that. I was a little past probably 52 54 minutes in, and I was just like, all right, enough of this. This is not going to be
so crazy to me. And so like the first one is like an hour and 20, hour and 30. The next one's only like 40, so it feels very short. And now this one tonight is like an hour and 20, so it's like however long they need to develop whatever episode it is, which has been going pretty close to beat by beat, but obviously there's some differences that I don't want to get any spoilers, but they keep it interesting enough where even I personally played this game 10 years ago. It's just like, oh, okay, I likes it. Shannon's like, I don't likes it. This critically acclaimed season 2 has already been renewed, record-breaking show off my screen. It's hurting my eyeballs. That's what Shannon said.
All right, I'm not that harsh. Am I that harsh? Do I sound like that? Okay, maybe I am. I don't know.
Like, remove this filth from my screen.
Me and the other, the world won't enders say this is not how this is gonna go. But I couldn't.
This is research, sir. We're getting ready. You over here, you'd be very woefully prepared for potential robots or parasites or zombies. All the above. I think in Resident Evil one time it was like the T virus caused the water to drain out of the oceans. I don't know, but I'm prepared in case it happens.
I don't know, man. I don't. You could be right. You could be right. I couldn't get into it, man. Like I found myself like watching other stuff on my phone.
That's so crazy to me.
Yeah, it's so it started, and I was like, okay, first 10 minutes or so, you got to give it whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then I was just like, okay, like when are we gonna get past this? And then there's a spot like 2 o'clock in the morning, all of a sudden some stuff pops off, and I'm like, okay,
Yep.
all right, yeah, all right, we're gonna get to it. I put my
And
phone.
that's where the game starts. So the game
Oh, okay,
starts when she wakes up. That's
yeah.
the intro to the game.
So for the first one, right? Because there's 2 games, right?
Yeah, for
Okay.
part one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, well, I imagine so, right? Because it's everything starting up, so it'd have to be the first.
Yeah. So like literally you wake up as the girl, Sarah, in the game. So the movie gives you a little bit more backstory. So you're even, well, you're not, but I'm even more engrossed.
Yeah.
By
Because
giving a little bit of
you've played the
backstory.
games. Because you've played the games, right? And you like
Yeah, I played part one and part two. Yeah.
yeah. So and there's I got a coworker, same way, man. He's like, man, I love those games, you know what I mean? And he's
Yeah.
liking it, he's loving it. And I'm like, maybe I needed to play the games to actually enjoy
Nah,
this.
because Shamir never even, like, she didn't know I even played the game. That's how long it's been, and she didn't sit there and watch me play it.
Yeah.
Sometimes she does, but I guess at this particular time she has no recollection of me playing The Last of Us.
And she likes it.
She likes the show.
Okay, all right, that's just me. That's just me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know, Ryan. I don't know.
Yeah. You know what hooked her? Like, not to give anything away for those who have not watched it yet, like the two people who have not watched the show, because it is breaking records right now. It was the little boy that's what hooked her.
I don't think I got that far.
Is at the very, or what is it? Yeah, it is part one. You had to, where the little boy stumbles into the Fedra camp. That's in episode one.
Oh, got you. Yeah.
That was the hook for her.
Yeah. See,
she believed them.
No,
yeah. I was like, what? You believe that?
Yeah. Yeah. No, that you're right. Yeah, that was. But even then, like the part of that where it's like you got the other person that's with him that's just like, no, I can't do it. And I'm like, look at what you're doing. Like, you've been doing this for how long now? You know what I mean? Right, like, so for people that have played the game, like, there's a time jump, right? Like, so I imagine
the same thing in the game. It goes right from the everything going to hell basically, and then he jumps 20 years. But it's not in sync, right? Like, so in the game, I think it's like in the 2010s, but in the show, it's early 2000s. So you get that nostalgia that's a little bit different nostalgia.
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't get down with it. That was just me. And like, I kind of knew, like, the part you're talking about with the boy, like, I was like, wait a minute, is that good? Like, I saw the thing because like he's behind, the kid, and he shows the thing. I was like, is that good? And the way she was talking, I was like, wait a minute.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm starting to think I just want to be anti everything, but I don't think that's the case. Right? Like, I have things that I don't like that I have not liked for years. So
right. It's just a genre you do not care for.
And like, I'm starting to think I'm coming off as that guy. It's just like, it's like the people that read newspapers and think they're better than everybody else. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I'm starting to feel. But I'm like, that's not me. Like, I don't feel like that. Like, I want the dumb action. Like, start chopping people's heads off and shooting them in the face.
Right.
That's fine. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, like, I'm not sitting here. I don't think
I respect it though. I respect it. He's like, no, man, let's just get straight to the beheading and
yeah, I don't need the dialogue. And here's the thing: there's a lot of beheadings, I imagine, in zombie movies, right? Because you got to go for the head with zombies. But I'm just like, zombies, I don't care about. You know what I mean? Like, I watch vampires, werewolves. You know what I mean? I'll watch the world. You know what I mean? I'll do all that, but yeah, just not for me, man.
There's a franchise I haven't thought about in years. You said Underworld. I remember that. It was like 5 of those things, right?
At least.
Yeah, it was at least 5 of those, and they were. I would say I watched all of them, and I was not disappointed.
They weren't bad.
Yeah, it wasn't Shakespearean in nature, right? It was. Let's take Blade and go from there. I was like, okay, I can get down with that. Throw some lichens in there, right? The werewolves,
exactly.
Yeah. So I like that too, but I like I don't know. I like this as well, like the more cerebral thriller zombie flicks. Like, there's one I really want to watch, and I keep saying I'm going to watch it, and I keep forgetting about it. It's called The Cure. So The Cure is like, I have not watched it yet, so this is just from the trailer. The Cure, it takes place after the zombie outbreak, where they find the cure, and they're able to cure people who were infected, right? They are able to make them regular humans again. But like, just like you would think what actually happen is those people are not well received anymore, right? Because they were zombies. They were eating people. They were just, destroying stuff. So there is a kind of a class system built around it. Like, y'all can only do these things. Like, we don't trust you. And then there's some animosity on their side. Like, now we're cured, and it seems like it's about to pop off again. Like, they're on the verge of civil war because of this. And there's still some people out there who are still infected, right? They didn't cure everybody, just the people that they're able to round up. So I'm like,
they're not able to cure everybody, or I mean,
like, this didn't get to them, right? Like, just people like in abandoned buildings and stuff like that, right? Like, they're still out there. There's feral humans out there. You know what I mean? So, and just like the politics behind it and all that stuff, I'm like, I want to see that, like, because that's what really go down. Like, oh yeah, we cured you, but you you ate my sibling, right? Nah. Can't get down with that.
I can understand that animosity too, though. You know what I mean? Like, I can understand it because I would like to think I'm a better person than that, right? To be like, look, they were not in control of themselves,
right? Right.
But it's like, I don't know, right? It comes to a point where it's like, when do you let that be the guiding light here, right? Like, not to get too much into it, but like, Kanye doesn't say the things he says because he's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, he's always felt like that, and the craziness just inhibits his filter, right? Like,
That's what you're saying, right?
You know what I'm saying?
Like, now he's uninhibited.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But and I know it's not the same. I know it's not an apples to apples comparison. But like, for them, like, they were not in control, like literally not in control.
Right. But would you trust them? Like, what if it only worked for so long? Like, what if 5 years down the road there's zombies again?
Do you know that though? That's the thing.
You don't. So that's why I'm like, this movie's like, this might actually be really good, but it's not, to my knowledge, it's not critically acclaimed. So it might not be a good movie, but it's always been on my backlog. I'm like, one day it's gonna be on an app out of these 15 that I own is gonna pop up, and I'm gonna watch this thing.
So let me ask you this. So and we're getting into hypotheticals here, right? So if that was the case, like, if you don't trust them because you're like, oh, they could go back to doing this, like, do you trust anyone who's been rehabbed in prison? You know what I mean?
Right. And then that goes into that as well, right? Like, you would take this and, like, in your brain, make it practical, right? Like, okay, like, this person's been reformed. They no longer suffer from whatever this illness, because I don't know what it's going to be, because it can't be supernatural if they find a cure for it. So it's got to be something like viral or something made these people zombies. So I'm very, like, I got to watch this one day, but it's been out for 5 years, 6 years, something like that. It went to theaters. I was like, nah, I'll get to it. And then it went to Showtime. I didn't have Showtime. Now I have Showtime, and it went somewhere else. Like, I'm like, it's running away from me.
So it's a movie, not a TV series.
It's a movie. Yeah, it's like an hour-and-a-half movie or something like that. But
who's in it? Like, it doesn't even sound familiar to me.
So the only person that I can remember off the top of my head, it's Elliot Page, but by his dead name. So it's like that long ago, where
Ellen, when he was Ellen Page,
right?
Or they might be they. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I just don't.
Right. Yeah. So that's the only person I can remember of, like, American fame, because, like, most of these people are, like, it's the British people taking over. Like, they're in every role. they are taking over the movie industry by storm. And maybe they always did, and I just never noticed. But it always throws me off that I see them in a movie or TV show, and then I watch an interview, and I'm like, oh man, another British person. They are taking over.
Especially when they're black, right? It's like, I know there are black Brits, but it still surprises me, you know?
Right.
Like,
Idris Elba's, right?
Like,
yeah. Like, he's British. It's been years now, though.
So the one from, because I started watching again, Snowfall.
Yeah,
the guy from Snowfall, same thing.
Is he British?
He's a Brit. Yeah,
yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. They are definitely taking over. Because what blew my mind was when Idris Elba played a English character. It was weird. It was like he's just using his regular voice. But I'm like, is he making up an accent? Like, it was like it's probably one that you didn't watch. It's like 48 weeks or 48 months later or whatever, like that zombie flick. Because it was 48 days later, and then they made a sequel. I think he's in the sequel.
Is it 28?
Is it 28? Yeah, it's 28. You're right. 28 days later.
And you are correct in that I have not seen it, Ryan.
Yeah, it's the sequel to that one. Is
Yeah.
Idris Elba is playing like a general or a major or something like that. Like he's British military, but he's just talking. He's just like, is that made up? Like, is he making up an accent? No, that's his real voice.
That's not Stringer Bell. What's his
Yeah,
name?
Stringer Bell.
Yeah, that's not Stringer Bell. You know.
They said he said that he had to go into because the director was biased against British actors, so he had to sell that he was not British, which is so crazy. That's a great actor right there.
Did you send that to me? I read that.
I don't think I sent it to you. I don't think I sent it to you. But
No,
yeah,
I read
I watched it. He had an interview about it. He was like, I had to really sell that I was American.
Breakfast Club. That's what it was.
Yep.
The Breakfast Club. Yes, that's where I saw it, and I was like, "What?" But one guy caught on. Like one guy knew.
Yeah, one guy caught on.
In the it wasn't the director, but one guy was in there. He was like, "What?"
Yeah, because he probably did something like there's these little intricate things like Inglorious Bastards, like when he threw up the number for 3, but he did it the American way. So instead of doing like this, he did it like this, and the dude knew right off the bat, like, but he had played the character so well of being German, and he did that one thing that was American, and it all went to hell.
I did not know that. I've never seen Inglorious Bastards either, though.
Oh, you would love it.
I don't think I would. It's Tarantino, right?
And it's Tarantino, but it's very straightforward. They get right to the killing. Like there's a scene where it's so, what's the word for it? Where it's just overdone. It's gratuitous. It's so violent and gratuitous. Even out
the bear Jewish guy or whatever.
Yeah, you just
I don't just say the short version of the word. It just sounds harsh to me.
right. No, but there's a scene at the end where it's like alternate history, like this thing didn't actually happen, but they just it's so long. Even you be like, all right, yeah, cut, and you just keep going. I think you would enjoy it.
I'm just not a Tarantino fan, and believe it or not, I know people will say, "Oh, you're not a fan because of the N-word controversy." Right. Not why. Like, I just don't like the way he makes his movies. Like, it's
the time hopping, right? It's like because nothing's ever chronological order.
But you know what? I don't even mind that because Pulp Fiction, I didn't mind. So like Pulp Fiction, the first Kill Bill, I was like, man, those are good.
Like Reservoir Dogs.
With Reservoir Dogs, I was like,
okay. 4 Rooms. That was one of his earlier ones. So I know you didn't see one of that. Like that's you having to go back to find it. Yeah, it's called 4 Rooms. Is very chronologically it's separated.
No, but like I don't know. It's not even necessarily the time jumping because I've watched movies that have the time jumping, and I just think like sometimes it's campy and dumb to me to where I'm like, why are you even doing that? You know what I mean?
That's what he does.
I'm telling you, he's got dirt on people in Hollywood because he always gets these big time stars.
He keeps getting these.
Yeah. I'm like,
you got your grindhouses, you got your what about was From Dusk Till Dawn a Tarantino flick?
He was in it. So I imagine
was it his? I think it was his.
Him and Clooney were in it. I don't know.
Yeah, Selma Hayek. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's his. One of my favorites. One of my favorite Tarantino movies of all time. Yes. One of my favorites.
Wow, I don't get it, man. I see, and this is why, like, the more I think on it, I'm like, Tarantino was so popular, right? Like, people are like, "Oh, a Tarantino flick, I gotta go watch that," and I'm like, "Nah, I'll pass." Like,
Django?
I won't even watch it when it's streaming. Never seen Django.
Django's actually pretty good.
Never seen Django, and I like Jamie Foxx. That's the thing.
What
like
else?
I watched the one on Netflix he had with the vampires, and people were like, it's kind of
it's kind of iffy.
Exactly. But I like knowing that going in, I was like, but I like Jamie Foxx, so I'll watch it.
Yeah. What'd you think?
It was a little iffy.
It was a little iffy, right? I see where they were going. I'm just like, if they did a sequel, which I don't think they will, because Netflix will cancel something in a second. They say, like, you see the article, like, I'm jumping around, but did you see the article where the one of the executives says we've never canceled a successful show?
No.
He said that verbatim, and like I gotta know I have to know what their metrics are for success.
For sure.
Because some of these shows, you be like, this is number 1 in all the territories. They're like, nope, not getting not renewing this.
So I think
like, what are your metrics?
So for them, like, I don't know if they can count hours streamed. Like, I've seen the figures, but I'm like, is that a guess? Or like, I don't know. But like, it's probably membership or not membership, subscriptions, right?
Like maybe the plus up, like this came out and now we have more subs. Because I never understood how they made money once they went from disc to streaming, because they have to spend a lot of money on infrastructure. That is not cheap to keep spinning up these instances per person and making sure that they have a good quality of service. Like, it has to be costing them a lot of money, because Netflix shows used to start out kind of grainy and work their way up. I never have that issue anymore. Like movies just pop 4K immediately, and they're like, oh, there's never a period where I go to Netflix and it's like Netflix is down. Never. I've never, like, knock on wood, it's gonna happen today, right? I've never not been able to access Netflix ever. It's been a decade probably.
I mean, they've been making money for a long time though. That's the thing, right? So like when they were just doing what is the DVD shipments or
Yeah,
you know what I mean, Blu-ray eventually, but when they were just doing that, I mean, they were making a lot of money doing that. So like that stuff, that money is just sat there. And before they were actually doing the production themselves, I mean, I
right.
guess we're spending a little bit, right? Because they're getting the rights to movies. But when it first started, I imagine all these different production companies and whatnot, or distributors, I don't know who makes the
Yeah,
decision. They probably all said, yeah, I need this to be out there so more people can see it, and then they'll probably buy the DVD on their own.
right.
But yeah, but they're just putting out terrible movies now. Like a lot of the ones, okay, this is opinion, right? But a lot of the stuff that Netflix does on their own, like I'm not for it, man. Like I
Yeah,
don't
you don't
like
like none of the ones I like, because I would immediately go to Bird Box. That was
no,
good to me.
nope. That's the one
Like,
where they can walk around with the blindfolds on, right?
right. Yep.
No. And the thing is, again, like I like Sandra Bullock, right? Like I will
Right.
watch Sandra Bullock movies, but like I can tell from a trailer, like it is. If
That
I
thing
have
was number
any
one.
if I have any superpower, it is that I could tell from a trailer.
You can write off immediately.
I had you drag me into watching Last of Us, and I knew better. I saw the trailer, and I was like, "This
Wow, it is so good, so
dragged
good.
me
I
in,
did.
Ryan.
You tried.
How did I keep falling for this? How do I keep falling for this?"
Well, this one wasn't just me. This one is all of the world.
Yeah,
The Last of Us is beloved right
this is
now.
this is how I know I am Will Smith and I am Legend, because
Because you like Pedro Pascal, right?
I do. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he is a great Joe. Oh,
Man, I don't know.
he got the dynamics. Got the you think he's a good father?
I don't know, man.
I think so you didn't finish episode 1, so I can't say try episode 2.
No, I'm done with it.
Oh, that's so crazy to me.
And I had another coworker. He was like, "Oh man, episode 2 was better, right?" He was
Oh, it's even better.
up, and then I'm like, "All right, but you liked the first one too." Like I couldn't get through the first one, so
This is not for you. It's always going to be what that first episode was.
and you know, I think they have a formula, and I think they know. They don't know that I know, but I know that they know that they're doing this. Like so, like Halo, right? So when Halo came out on Amazon, like
Yeah.
it started off with a blast, right? Like it was like, okay, we're gonna jump straight to the action. I was like, all right, you got me. I'm hooked, right? And then it was talking. Another
Right.
action scene. I was like, okay, we're gonna get to it. Now it's gonna be action from here on out, right? It's a video game where people shoot all day, right?
Yes.
So I've got to see a bunch of that. No. Didn't do that. So I get through episode 3, right? You're not gonna remember this, Ryan, but you convinced me to keep watching. You
Because there was an episode that went back to
watching.
Master Chief doing Master Chief things. There was an episode of him just punching brute faces and pulling hornets out of the sky.
I didn't get to it. I did,
but it's probably for the best though, because that series did not do it for me. Like it was like I was with you. I was like, let's keep this Halo. Like you're doing a lot of talking, and it's not even talking. Like they went so off brand, or not off brand, but they diverged from the story so heavily that I was like, oh, they're gonna get somewhere amazing. Like because I don't mind it not being. I don't mind adaptations having artistic license. Because why would I want to see the same thing I either played or whatever, right, or read? But I don't know where they're going. It ended weird, and I'm like, I don't know what season 2 looks like, so I might not even watch season 2. Like,
but that's the thing, is I think people are trying to be different, right? They're like, all right, we know that we could do shoot 'em ups or whatever,
yeah,
but let's do something different. Like let's put them doing Shakespeare in the middle of it. And I'm like, well, I don't see that. And I'm not saying that's what happened to Halo.
right.
Like,
That's
it's
Station
like,
11, which I did not recommend to you, but it's basically Macbeth. but a post-apocalyptic world, Macbeth.
And see, this is why I don't watch.
Almost beat for beat.
Yeah. And this is why I don't watch Apple TV either, right? Like, I'm like, if y'all got Denzel, why did y'all get him to do Macbeth? Like, the tragedy of Macbeth.
He said, "But so I watched the interview. That was one of his swan songs. He was like, I always wanted to do this because he said he's very near being done. So this was on his bucket list to being done. All and right. I guess he had done it on either Broadway or off Broadway or whatever, but he wanted to do it big. It wasn't terrible, but it definitely was Macbeth. And if you don't like, so I don't like, I like Shakespeare modernized, right? Like, because I like the stories, but I don't like it to be in its original dialogue because I simply cannot decipher it. Like, I don't get like people listen to it like, oh, it's so poetic and it means this. I'm not there. I'm not at that level.
You don't speak in these and thous,
right? And that's what this Macbeth was, like this Macbeth. But what helped me was because it was in action. So not only were they saying it in the Old English, but then I can actually interpret what's going on by actually watching people do things, as opposed to reading it. Like when I read it, I just can't envision what's happening as well. So that's what turned me off in high school for Shakespeare. But when you put it on TV, then it's better. But I wouldn't say I would not go out of your way to see it though. Like I'm never going to watch it again. But it was a good undertaking.
Like, and they got to be spending a fortune to get all these people out there, man. You got like Tom Hanks that has like 3 movies on there.
They got the Apple money, man. Like at one point they had $100 billion just sitting. They were like, this is going to be used to acquire. Like this is what people thought. They thought this is going to be used to acquire people. And Apple was just like, no, we just keep it for future endeavors. So I guess that's what this is. Because yeah, they have what's his name? The comedian. Not Will Ferrell. Is it Will Ferrell? No, the current comedian, Anchorman. What's his name?
The current comedian. That's Will Ferrell. Yeah.
Yeah, Will Ferrell. They have like Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds and Christmas Tale. Like they redid the one with
is it Scrooge?
Scrooge, yeah. They redid Scrooge. They modernized. They made a musical or whatever. Like I didn't watch it, but
that was in the theaters too, though, wasn't it?
Did it get released to theater as well? I thought it went straight to Apple.
I thought it was in theaters. Maybe not, because when I went on my Cinemark app, I thought I saw an advertised thing for it, but it could have been an Apple TV thing for it. I wasn't going to watch it though because it was a musical. Like I'm not going to watch that. I don't care. I like Ryan Reynolds. Like if you're not going to be in a musical that's Deadpool, like I don't care. And even then, musical. even then, I probably won't watch that. Right. Like, I'm like, nah.
But yeah, they're spending a lot of money. Like, and their production value is always super high. Like I've watched a couple of shows, like Invasion. I didn't really like. When it had a really big budget. What's another one? I'm going to start Severance. I think is what it's called. It's like critically acclaimed, about to come to its final season or whatever. But I heard that was weird. It's a M. Shyamalan jam. He made a whole TV series. It's on his 4th season. It's about to start.
I can't see how you make that work. I cannot see how you make M. Night Shyamalan can't do it in an hour and 45 minutes to where it interests me. How are you going to break it up over 10 hours or however long?
I give you Signs and I give you
Sixth Sense.
Those
are the best things he's done.
That's all that matters.
But again, look at the other 12 projects he's done. And the one I like next, he didn't even direct it. I think he was just a producer for it. Was Devil? What's the one in the elevator? Devil?
Yeah, I think it's Devil. Yeah.
I like that one, but he didn't even direct that one.
That one was actually pretty good. It was actually pretty good. Yeah.
So as soon as his hands come off, like it's like,
well, he has the one. Oh man, what is it called? It's the one where the kids are sent to go see their grandparents. It's like a found footage type situation. It's actually pretty good in my opinion, anyway. Because it jumps off weird real fast. But
I did see that. I saw the commercial for that, but I was like, no, it's too much like Paranormal Activity, right? Like,
yeah, very, very similar, but with his twist on it. But the ones I didn't like I didn't like Lady in the Water. I didn't like The Village. I kind of liked Ode. What's it called? Ode, the one where they're aging super fast. I kind of like that one actually. I didn't like The Happening. That one I bought on Blu-ray back when Blu-rays cost $30. I was upset.
Is that the Wahlberg one where the trees?
Yeah,
Yeah, no.
I didn't like that happening. So I say he's 50-50.
50? No.
He's
I don't
50-50.
think so.
50-50 is what I would give him, because he has another one coming out. But like, so you have Unbreakable, which I thought, I was a kid though, so I liked Unbreakable. You got Glass. It was not Split, so it's Split then Glass, and then you find out this is a whole MCU, M Night Shyamalan's MCU, because it's all tied together.
Even Unbreakable, like it was okay, right? Because again, a lot of talking, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, if you are supposed to be like superheroes, like you should be doing more than just lifting a bunch of weights in your basement, right? Like,
Well, he was trying to ground it as best he could, but then if you watch the sequels, it was like 10 years later, it's like a decade later or more. It was like, oh, by the way, this one is a sequel to that one. You're like, what? I like that.
I don't know. I didn't get down with it.
Not your thing. Not your thing. There's a bunch of other stuff that, like you said, Tom Hanks has like 3 movies on there.
Their commercials are funny though. Like I'll give it to them. Their commercials for Apple TV are funny. So
Right.
like John Hamm, where he's like, I give me a movie or whatever, right? The show, like, and they're showing all the other ones, and they got another one that's Timothy Chalamet. Is that his
Yeah,
name?
I just saw that one. Yeah.
New one? Yeah.
And
so
he talks to what's his face? The dude who played in C and
Momoa.
Yeah, he talks to Jason Momoa. He was like, working on my second one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's like, you got 2? Yeah. Actually, it might be like his 3rd. Because he's got C and he's got another one, doesn't he? Momoa, or maybe I'm thinking about the one he's doing now. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's War Chief or whatever is the one he's doing now.
Yeah. Okay.
But I didn't watch C yet, but I do plan on watching it at some point. I don't know. I think that they're going for the critically acclaimed, Emmy nominated, yada yada yada. I think that's what they're trying to build towards. Because you put all these people and you let them do their passion projects, you will get subs based upon awards won.
And that's where they're going wrong. Like all that stuff, not serious. Like all that stuff for like best picture and all that. It's never the stuff that makes the most money, right? It's always some artsy fartsy thing to where it's like, well, this is best picture because it's the introspective of the human mind and how they do this. I'm like,
yeah, like There Will Be Blood or No Country for Old Men. You like that one?
No. I didn't like American Beauty. I didn't like and the thing is, like the ones that usually win, there's almost always controversy because there's something better, right? Like,
right.
I don't mind you talking about the human mind if I see it when somebody shoots them in the head. Like, I'm like,
so here's one that I'm watching that you may like. I just started. I have not got to the end of the first episode because it's like an hour long. Her name is it Natasha?
Nope,
Lino?
I don't Leon. I don't
Leon. Yeah, you don't like her? Because so she I think she's gonna wind up being one of those actors that plays themselves in different movies, like your Denzel, your Will Smith, your Tom Hanks.
She did Russian Doll or something like that.
So I didn't like Russian Doll.
You did or did not?
I didn't. I got through the first season. I was like, okay, I could see something here. And then the second season, I got through one episode and I was like, I don't like it. It just wasn't for me for whatever reason. I think it's the too much time hoppiness and a bunch of stuff I don't care about.
Yeah.
But she's playing in Poker Face on Peacock, and I'm halfway through the first episode, and it's basically Columbo. But the first episode is kind of her origin, like how she's gonna probably become this great investigator or detective, or maybe not. I don't know. But I watched Columbo growing up with my grandma, and Columbo was the man. Like, cause Columbo make you feel like you try to kill Columbo at the end of the episode. Every single time they were like, all right, I gotta kill you. Because not only are you belittling me, but you're just too good at your craft.
And they think they got him. And almost always they're like, that dumb gumshoe doesn't know.
Right. He gets them every single time. Pull a cigar out.
Oh, by the way, you know that
yeah. Every single time. So I believe this is a spiritual successor, right? She's not a private or private PI or was it PI, private investigator, or anything like that. But she's a human lie detector, basically. Like already she's calling people out, like, nah, you're lying, nah, this. And they're kind of giving her origin or whatever. But I'm about halfway through this episode, and then it clicks why, because it jumps right off. Like I want to say I actually paused it on the action. I was like, will this be a Shannon show or not? Right. So like it's like 6 minutes of dialogue, and then it's like minute 7, I paused it, and somebody's already getting shot in the face, followed by somebody else getting shot. I was just like, okay, Shannon might be in on this one.
So I don't like her that much, first off, right? So like I don't think she's that great. And then I saw the trailer and I was like, I don't know where they're going. But I don't know. Man, against my better judgment, because
I don't know. I didn't finish it. I didn't finish the first episode yet, but
just got me with Last of Us. You just got me with Last of Us. I'm like, is this going to be the downfall of our friendship? Am I going to fall?
Oh man! Like so what's on my highlight reel? On my highlight reel, Donnie Darko, Pie,
nope.
The Last of Us. Oh,
what was the other one?
Those two are unequivocally like either you love them or you will hate them. Requiem for a Dream. I don't know if you've seen that one.
That was another. It's
one. Also on my list.
yeah.
Of movies, either you will love them or you will hate them.
I was like, oh man, Ryan, what are you doing to me, man?
So Pie is very like Pie is not high on my list. It's just if you like Donnie Darko, you'll probably like Pie. But Requiem for a Dream, though, like this, if you feel like being sad, that's the movie to bring you down. Like I'm too happy right now. Let me watch Requiem for a Dream.
I don't know.
So I don't know, but I honestly don't know about Poker Face. I honestly do not know. I'm only 30 minutes into an hour-long episode. I'm just like, I can see it. Only because I feel as though if they can follow the Columbo formula, it'll be worth watching, because those shows always had me dying. Like,
and I love Columbo. I do. And the thing about Columbo that was different was that they show you the crime in the beginning,
and that's what they did in this one. And I was just like, is that the way they did Columbo? Because I remember being the way they did Columbo.
Yep.
And then he would be introduced into it of some sort, and then he would start to like, this is. Yeah. So I think that's where it's going, because like literally they showed you the crime it was like legitimately the crime began like 2 minutes into it, but the killing started 7 minutes into it. And then they do a thing where you're like, why are they introducing her in this story? And then it clicks where it's just like, oh, she has skin in the game in this one. And I think that's how it's going to start her origin. It's like her origin story. But I don't know how she jumps from what she's doing now to being a private investigator. No clue. Like that part is not cemented for me. I don't know how that happens. So it may never happen.
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna give it a shot, but only because of the Columbo thing.
They put this on me. I didn't finish it yet.
We have video proof.
I'm only 30 minutes into it, but I see the Columbo formula happening. I'm just like, okay, I don't know if it'll be a good fit for her. Because like legitimately, she's just playing herself, and Orange is the New Black, and Russian Doll. She's just herself in different situations, and that's what this feels like.
So I started to watch Orange is the New Black. I couldn't stay with that. Like it started.
I didn't finish it either. Yeah,
it started out real good, and I was like, okay, it's not bad. I didn't even like her in American Pie. So like, I don't know if you remember way back when she was in American Pie. So
she was, yeah.
I didn't like her then.
Okay.
So like, I didn't think she was that great an actress or whatever. And now it's just like she just looks so unkempt. Like and I'm not saying
every role
beautiful on screen, right? I'm not saying that, but she just looks like.
But I think that's her thing.
You're gonna hire me. This is how I'm gonna look. You know.
Yeah, I think that's her vibe. Like, this is who I am, and you're gonna put me in these roles. And legitimately, because I find it interesting how she can just be herself in these different roles, and it just somehow works. Except for Russian Doll, I didn't like it. It was just, and that seems like over the top.
That seems like one you would like, because you like the one with Michelle Yeoh, right? All things, everything, all the time, whatever.
And you know what? What's crazy about that one? I'm not as hyped as everybody else. Like, I liked it because of how nonsensical it was, but people are saying like they're putting a lot of other stuff on top of it, like where I'm just like, it wasn't that brilliant, but maybe I need to watch it again.
That's what she won her award for, right?
Yeah, I thought it was a good movie, but I wouldn't see it as being the best, like being rated as high as it's being rated. Like, I like Parasite better. Like, if you're gonna go to that genre type of that type of casting, that movie Parasite I thought was better than Everything Everywhere All at Once, in my opinion. But I haven't watched Crazy Rich Asians, but I heard that was also amazing. But these are the type of movies I would watch on the airplane ride. But now I don't travel, so now I watch them, when I get a chance to. But that one I wouldn't say it was the best movie of the year, but I thought it was very entertaining to watch.
I'll tell you like this, when it comes to Crazy Rich Asians, not you say that. So I haven't seen it, but my wife, whenever she says she likes a movie, I'm like, oh, that ain't for me. Like I know I can't watch that. And with Crazy Rich Asians, she was like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I didn't really like it that much. So I'm like, oh, I definitely wouldn't like that then. Like that's like
Gotcha.
not for me.
Gotcha.
Because there was a point I was like, I'll give it a shot. But seeing the preview, I was kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah, but I do like that the market is opening up. This is becoming more mass appeal and things of that nature. I just I don't know. I don't think that movie was an A, like Everything Everywhere All at Once. I don't think it was an A+. I give it a B. Like I could see myself watching it again only because I do want to, like, there's a bunch of stuff happening like literally all at once. And I think you can get different things depending on, like, find those Easter eggs. But it was pretty straightforward, like, so to speak. Like it had an interesting beginning, it had a very interesting end, and then it's like, well, okay.
Nah, not for me. I'll leave it to everybody else to watch. That ain't my jam.
Gotcha. Yeah. But yeah, I'm not recommending Poker Face. I've not absorbed enough myself, but like they're saying it's this is the spiritual successor to Columbo, and I'm down for Columbo because I need a good mystery. Like that Glass Onion didn't do it for me.
I'm hoping, yeah, no,
So.
I feel you on that. I'm hoping I don't have to come here next week with my glasses on, like Malcolm X, and be like, I was hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray. Like I'm hoping I don't have to put my glasses on to be like, Ryan, you.
I'm telling you, I'm like 28 minutes in.
I know. I'm feeling it. Like that whole Columbo setup thing though. Like I like that. Like if it is in that vein, and it's actually good, because Columbo was actually good, but Columbo, remember, was like an hour and a half too, right? Like going through and doing
it very, like, they were like mini movies. And that's kind of how this starting off. Like legitimately, I thought it was gonna be like a 30-minute episode. So when I paused it, and I still got 32 minutes left. So like I thought it was gonna end there, right? And then go on to the next episode. Like, no, they give me a full contained story in this first episode. So I'm like, oh, okay. I'm at least gonna finish the first one.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a shot. And then I'll be like, you'll hear from me. Like, I'm not gonna wait. Be like, Ryan. No, I'm joking with you.
Yeah, but
I'm my own man. I make my own decisions. So if I watch it, I gotta blame me, right? Like, I'm like,
right. Yeah, ain't on me. Like, look, I already put out there, ain't on me. Game wise though, because we're nearing the end of the episode, I'd say so I continue to play God of War Ragnarok. I've gotten further. I still didn't get to the fight. Like, there's a lot of stuff between me getting it's a new weapon and then me getting to use it. It's like a lot in between.
I told you got a little bit. got a little bit. Yeah.
So like, am I halfway done? Like, how far? Like, this game is taking a long time. It's good, don't get me wrong, but it's like, this is a very long game.
I think you're past halfway though. With the weapon that you have, you're past halfway.
Okay.
Right? Because that's one of those things where you get that later, but you're not like at 90% or anything like that.
Okay. And now I'm supposed to go back and use it in other places. I'm like, I'm not doing that right now. I'm trying to mainline this story and get through it. But I have a feeling I'm gonna get to the end and get crushed. I have so many upgrades I haven't upgraded. Like, I just have just exclamation points on everything. I'm just like, I don't feel like doing this.
You need to do that. Like, there's going
I might put Junior on it. Like legitimately, I think it was 2 weeks ago, I handed him a controller. I was like, upgrade me. It's just too much. Like, I used to love that aspect of it, like the grind and the getting the skills and abilities and what have you. I honestly don't. They give me arrows, let me know what's better than this and what's better than that. And I got quests to get better armor. I'm just like,
how are we so reverse when it comes to game and movie?
I used to be there though. That's what's so crazy to me. Like the mechanics are too deep for my level of attention right now. I don't have the attention span. Like, feed me this good storyline. Let me get, like, there should be an easy button. Like, I just click a button, which I thought there was. I thought there was an auto upgrade button. Like, I thought you could just tell it, like, give me the best of what I have, give me that.
I haven't seen that.
I could have sworn that it existed for people like me. It's just like, just let me click R3 in and make me the best Kratos I could be right now.
Well, because you have different selections of things, like the way that tree is. Like if you have the exclamation points everywhere, if you haven't really looked
Everywhere.
at what everything is, like there's different things you can choose to where it'll have you doing different things depending on the route you go.
Right. Like your
So,
fighting style and what
yeah,
weapons you want to prefer.
yeah.
I'm just like, man, listen, just make me a generalist. Like, because I just don't feel like digging through all these trees and all these skills. Like, but I get it. I just for whatever reason, my attention span has never snapped back since pre-COVID. Like, I just want to get it over. Like, let me get because the story is so good.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to get through it. And then maybe I'll go back. I won't, but I should, right? Because they gave me hours and hours, tens of hours of content that I probably would never see. And that's unfortunate because I haven't done that since Grand Theft Auto 4. It's been that long since 100% of the game. Uncharted 3. Like, I have not 100% of the game in forever.
I haven't 100%ed it, and I'm kind of done too, right? Because like I'm almost 80 hours. I'm 78 hours or something like that.
And that's amazing for the dollar per hour. I paid $70. I get 80 hours of enjoyment. I ain't got it in me. I just want 20.
I'm still not done, but I'm still not 100%. Like, because even after the main story ends, there's stuff to do, right? Like,
right. And that's I'm gonna cut it off. I know it, and I don't want to, but I'm like on to the next. And it's just a waste because they're giving me so much stuff for the amount of money I paid. Because I think $70 for even a 20-hour experience is a good investment. I'm getting 20 hours, but you're getting like 140 hours for $70 investment. Nah, man, my back catalog is so big. I gotta move on to the next.
I don't know, man. Like we are just totally different. Like
right.
I'm play everything in the game. You're like, nah, I don't want to do that.
I think I'm more like I'm leaning more towards quantity over quality nowadays. Like, I don't want a bunch of bad games, but I want to play a bunch of different experiences. And if I give you 100 plus hours of my time, then I can't jump into something else, and that thing just keeps sliding back. And there's games I'll never even play.
Yeah, you know what? That is a good point, because I don't play a lot of games.
Yeah.
Like this one, I liked. I don't want to say the first one, but the newer
right
one.
2018.
Yeah. Right. Not the 2000, the early 2001, but like that one, I liked it so much. I like when this was coming out, I was like, oh, I've got to have that. But for me, it's like 2 games a year, and I don't even get those all the time. Madden and 2K, that's it for me. Like,
right. So I get it. So I definitely respect it. But I'm like, man, because Dead Space just came out, the remake for that. I'm missing that. I might never get on board on that one. There's games from last year like Elden Ring and a few others I've probably never experienced. There's a new Zelda coming out. Like that's going to be at least 50, 60 hours, right? So I'm just like, I got a budget for that when that drops this summer. Like there's so many more games, right? And then Game Pass also spoils me, right? I give them $15 a month. I think is what it is. And I get 100 games, and I will literally cut on the Xbox and start flipping through the menu, and then just cut it off. I'm analysis paralysis. Like there's just too many games. I don't know what I want to play. So it's a good time. Don't get me wrong. It's a good time to be alive. But I'm not getting anything accomplished when it comes game wise. I used to be able to play a solid 10 to 12 games every year. I knew, like, it was like clockwork. Like I would knock all these out like one-ish a month, and then have like I can talk about all these games. Like I'm part of the zeitgeist. I could talk about it. We can have a water cooler moment about it. Now I get through like maybe 4, maybe.
It's because life happened, man. Like think about back then, right? You just had one child, right? One child, you
right.
Time in, you could do whatever, spend time with the wife, whatever. But then it's 2 children, 3 children. You know what I mean? Like it's just one of those things where it's like, as you start to get to more, it's like that time is less and less that you have.
Right. And then you got to study and you got to stay up on stuff.
Yeah,
like,
man.
Then you feel guilty. I'm like, I should be learning about SOC 2 right now. Or CMMC 2.0. Like, I'm over here trying to play Persona 3, I think is what I just started up a couple nights ago. Because all the Personas hit Game Pass. So I got 3, 4, and 5 to get through, right? I'm probably not. But I want to. I want to, but every time I pick it up, I'm like, I should probably be learning about this framework or yada yada yada.
Yeah, man.
Crazy times. But I think that pretty much wraps us up for this week. So definitely continue to tune in, everybody. Definitely thank you, Shannon, for another great week. Hit us up throughout the week to look at our Monday and Tuesday topics, our Wednesday discussion, and then next week, if this is your favorite, like again, listen to this one, but then go back and listen to other ones too. You know what I mean? Like they're 15 minutes or less. Just knock them out. I think this week every one of them was under 12 minutes. Go ahead and listen to those. See if we can pique your interest in other things aside from our pontificating about things we don't finish. Shows that will never conclude. Things of that nature. But hit us up at all of our social medias. They go by our name. You can hit me up personally. I'm at RyRy Security Guy. That's RYRY Security Guy. I'm on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Clubhouse. Stay safe. Stay secure.